project. That is the first thing that I want to know from you. What do you think? What is project? Put it in the chat box. What do you think? What is project? That is the first thing we need to know. What is project? Temporary, add, unique, okay, unique, time bound, okay. Project is a task with start and end date. Project has start date, end date, okay. Temporary, Sakib, okay. What else? Guys, everybody put in the chat box. What is project? Specific task having frame of work. What else? What is temporary? Have a start and end date. Temporary start and date. So one thing is for sure, for anything, to be project, okay, two things has to be there. Okay, let's look at them one by one. For anything to be project, it has to be temporary, right? It has to be temporary in nature, which means it must have a start date and it must have a end date. Now it can be as big as uh, as you want it to have, but it must have a start date and it must have a end date. This is for sure. If it does not have any end date, then it's not a project. Okay. Then what is it? If it does not have an end date and you are doing it on daily basis, if it's not project, then what is it? Put in the chat box. If it is not project, then what is it? Operations. The things that keep on happening, keep on happening, keep on happening. That thing is known as operations. So big difference between project and operation is that it's temporary and it's continuous. Okay. Everybody clear on this thing? Put in the chat box. Put in the chat box. Is it everybody clear on this? Clear, clear, clear. Okay. Now comes the next question. Why do we need projects? Why do we even need projects? What is the purpose of the project? Why do we even need projects? What is the purpose of the project? Ji, put in the chat box. Why do we even need projects? Why do we need projects? To increase the business, to add value to the business, to add benefits, good. To achieve something, when that is good, to provide service. Okay, what else? So to achieve goals and values need to good, good. To make it operation, achieve milestone. Okay, what else? Goals. According to PMI language, projects are done to increase business value. Projects are done to increase business value. Now the question comes, what is the business value? What is business value? The business value is the value of the business, right? Value of the business. It consists of two things: tangible and intangible. Tangible means direct assets. How much money do you have, right? Intangible means brand value, recognition. Anything that has this small Apple logo on it, it suddenly become expensive. Or that swoosh on your shoes or on your track suits, and it becomes expensive. Yes or no? And we buy it, right? And we buy it. Why? That is a brand value. That is what those business has established along the way, right? When I started doing the training, I made my fee in dollars. Why? I wanted to make it as an international trainer, and I made it like eventually I made it double fee than what was happening in the local market for my country. Why? I wanted to separate myself and build a brand. Like I don't want 1,000 students in 1 month. No, 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 no. For me, 100 is okay. But I take those students, I am building that brand. I take those students and I will make them pass. Right? For example, and every single person who has referred you, who is sitting in the class, they must have given you one or two things about myself. I do a rigorous follow up and I'll make sure you pass the exam. Okay? This is something what I am building as a brand over the long period of time. Like we have started also other trainings in addition in which I hired my students or my coach to provide the training, but they are following the same brand values that we are doing, the intangible things. Is it clear? Tangible money, intangible brand recognition, market value, how things people perceive. Clear to everybody, right? Okay, so let's take it further, the same thing. In order for the business value, in order for the business value, if we look into that, we have business case that covers the tangible part, the money thing, the hardcore cash. Okay, money thing, business case, business case. It handles the money thing, and then we have benefit management plan. It talks about the non-money thing or intangible things. What are the intangible things? Put in the chat box. What are the intangible things? Money, brand, benefits, things like that all comes as intangible. Not just brands, like you are doing some good work, humanitarian work, NGOs work, social services, all those things comes there. Both are important. This business case and benefit management plan, both of them are called as business document. Business document. That business is based on this thing. Only two business documents in the entire PMP. What are those two documents? Put in the chat box. What are the two documents? What are the two business documents? Everybody, all 45 students, please put in the chat box. What are the two documents? Business case and benefit management plan. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Saurabh, Nitu. Okay, who else? Siva. Thank you. iPhone, Adia. Okay, Majid, business case, benefit management plan. And which document has the money part in it? Which document has the money part in it? Business case. Okay, business case. Okay, let's let's dive deep into business case. Okay, business case has a money part in it. There are 4 to 5 ways we use to measure our money. The first one is simple as it is. What are the benefits of doing something? What is the cost of doing something? What are the benefits of doing something and what will be the cost for doing that? If benefits are more and cost is less, it makes business sense, right? It makes business sense to do that. If I can make this pencil, Apple pencil, for $100 and I can sell it for 110, it makes business sense, right? Yes or no, everybody? Okay, benefits are more, cost is less. But if I make this pencil for $100 and I sell it for 95, does that make business sense? No. Any project whose benefits are less, okay, and cost is more, will cancel the project. Straightforward. That project will not be conducted. That project will not be conducted. This is very important. Let's say the question of the PMP, you can get a question like that. You are the project manager and your team notify you that the cost of doing the project is more than the benefit. What will you do? Put in the chat box. What will you do? What will you do? The cost is more. Cancel the project. You have to cancel the project now. To cancel the project, there is a way. Basically, you need to escalate to the sponsor, but the sense make clear that we are not gonna do that project. That project must be stopped. Right? Everybody is clear about that. Sometime benefit in, sir. We are right now talking about only the money thing, Vikas sir. We are talking about business case. That the business case does not make sense. Yes, what you are talking that will be covered in the benefit plan. Let's separate these documents. Okay, let's separate. Is this clear to you, Vakasa? Please put in the chat box. Okay. So another way to measure your benefits is your return on investment. There are two projects: Project A, Project B. Project A has a 10% return, and Project B has a 15% return. Let's say you invested $1 million in both projects. Which project you will do? A or B? Can PM reject the project? PM cannot reject the project. Sort of PM had to escalate it, talk to the sponsor. So everybody will do B project. Okay. So everybody understand the money thing. That's why I started this conversation of PMP with the money thing, that we can understand on that. Acha ji. Another terms that we use is payback period. Let's say there are two projects, A and B. You have $1 million. Okay, you want to invest. You will get the money back. The payback is money back here in 5 years and here in 12 years. In which project you are going to invest? Absolutely. A would be the sense to make it, right? Okay. Then there's a thing called net present value. Net present value and IRR. They are in-depth financial terms, but from PMP perspective, we just need to understand this thing. Cash inflow minus cash outflow. Here, percentage of cash inflow minus percentage of cash outflow. To understand this and make it easy, and my goal as a PMP consultant is always try to think and figure out way how I can make it more simple. How many of you have more month than your salary? I'll repeat the question. How many of you have more days or more month than your salary? Yes, everything that who is iPhone? Can you put your name? I want to know who are you, or if you can change your name. Everything I'm explaining here, you need to know those things. Okay, I'm not gonna explain anything that is not written. I am coming to that NM. I am coming to that. What is IRR? Is internal rate of return. First, net present value. G. How many of you have more month than your salary, or at the end of the month you are out of money? In a simple words, what does that mean? Cash inflow is your salary minus cash outflow, the expenses. If your salary is more than your expenses, you have money at the end of the month, right? If you don't have, your NPV is minus. So that is net present value. Umesh, let's everything depends. Let's just consider it for understanding. Okay. If let's say your salary minus expense is zero, it's a good thing, not a bad thing. If it is positive, it's a very good thing. But if it's negative, it's a bad thing, right? So similarly, net present value, which is cash inflow, the money coming, minus cash outflow, the money going out. It should be minimum zero. It should be minimum zero. Okay. But it should be more than zero. Okay. It should be more than zero, then it is better. Okay. It should be more than zero, then it's more better. Okay. Cash inflow minus cash out. IRR is nothing but the percentage of cash inflow minus cash out. Okay. So two projects, A and B. It has NPV of 10 and it has NPV of minus 2. Which project you will do? It depends always. A. Who you never told me who's iPhone 3. Please let me know who are you so that I can call you. We will do project A. Okay. We will do project A. Simple. Same goes for IRR. So we discussed business case as some financial terms, that is benefit to cost, then payback, ROI, IRR, internal rate of return. IRR, internal rate of return. Anyone who is not clear among any of those things? Nabil, IRR is internal rate of return. Like let's say $100 minus $100 was NPV. IRR is percentage of that. Percentage of cash inflow minus percentage of cash out. That's it. And in more simple words, for the PMP exam, higher IRR or higher NPV, you will choose that project. Okay? Higher IRR, higher NPV, you will choose that project. G. Anyone else has any question? Okay, let's move forward. Internal rate of return. Acha ji, let's take it from there. So we already discussed projects are created to increase business value. So I can put it on a graph. Let's say today is day 1 or 14th January and it is 1 month, 1st September. Here are you. Let's say.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I have a talk? Can I have?
Yes. Tell me.
Like what you are teaching me, like IRR, NPV, at the level of your guiding me. Should I want to stop in that
Yes,
level?
that's it.
Or
That's it. That's it.
no need to go
No,
for deeper?
no. These are the business terms. If you are doing business analyst course PBA, then we may have to go it down. For the PMP perspective, what I am sharing at that level is more than enough. Okay, Mohammed?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Because I was thinking too much.
Don't think too much. Okay, so let's say you are here, and by doing PMP, okay, by doing PMP, this is $1,000. This is your current salary. You want to go to $1,500. You want to move here. Okay, you want to increase your business value. So that's why you are taking this PMP training as a project to improve your career growth, to improve yourself, to go towards the next level. Okay, we discussed business case. Benefit management plan will be a plan in which you identify what are the benefits you are having in the project, major risk, who will measure these benefits and uses benefit owner. At the end of the project, at the end of the project, once the project is done, we will measure the benefit for the project. At the end of the project, we will measure the benefit of the project. Okay, whether we achieve it or not. Now, what one of the student was saying that there are certain projects in which business case is not reasonable, but still we do it. The benefit management plan can be the reason for that. Okay, in the PMP question, if that is the case, the PMP question will say that the benefits you are looking more towards them. What are the examples of such projects? Anyone can put it that it is more costly, but still we want to do it. What are the example of those projects? Competition, public welfare project, advertisement. Yes, regulatory, they are compulsory. Yeah, I like it. Getting brand or good, famous thing. Like for me, I do so many things. Like sometimes it costs me more that it does not make sense. Public infrastructure, that's a very good thing. Like exactly behind my office, there's a building. If you know that, that building name is Burj Khalifa. Okay, Burj Khalifa. It's the tallest tower or hotel in the world. tallest. Its business case is not justifies, but it put Dubai on the map of the world, and it generated tourism and so many things that help the Dubai to reach the next level. Most of the time, government projects can be like this. Okay, so benefit management plan. So are we clear about business case and benefit management plan, guys? Now this is the sign language of PMP. When if something is clear, five, not clear, fist. This is called fist of five. Clear? Not clear. So benefit management planning, this thing are clear to you? Okay. Manoj, you can also turn your camera on. If it is 100% clear, 80%, 60, things like that. Okay. Just I can know that things, how much something is clear to you. Of course, you are understanding this thing for the first time. Yeah. Manoj, you have a question or that is clear, that was clear to you because your hand is raised. Manoj, okay. Umesh, you have a question?
Yeah, what I understood in business case, payback, net, uh, NPV, and RRR and ROI are coming into the business case. What about the benefit
They
management
are
plan?
the
What
yeah,
comes?
they are the financial terms, money related terms that are used in the business case. A very good question. Benefit management plan will have a different parameter to measure. Every benefit plan will have depending upon that. For example, if you are doing a marketing or advertisement campaign, something can be number of impression, how many people you reached it. For example, actually I did one campaign. I put it on my LinkedIn. My coach said it to me. I'm giving my 7-step formula free of cost. Okay. I expected 20 to 30 people will reach it. People will want that book. I have reached almost 1 lakh impression on that. I'm sharing books on daily. More than that, I was expected that my team is now frustrated that we have to share daily at least 50 to 100 people. That's a benefit management plan. Now, what is that doing actually? It is making my brand value knowing. Those people who never knew me, 1 lakh people I have reached through that. Like I put at least 5 content on LinkedIn that combine 1 week content reached normally to 60,000 people, 60,000 impressions. This one content reached to 1 lakh. So that's kind of a banner. What you are measuring it. For example, I measure one parameter that has nothing to do with money. How many students passed in 1 month? That's kind of my benefit thing. Okay. Now that has nothing to do with money directly involved. Okay. It is possible that I have in this month 100 students, but only 20 pass or 30 students. But that is improving my brand. Clear? Ankur, I hope both of these things are clear to you. Okay? Yeah. So, guys, this is business case and benefit plan. Now, let's look at the entire product life cycle and project life cycle. Yes, Siva.
Sir, I have one question. What is the difference between ROI and IRR?
IRR is the percentage of cash inflow minus cash out. It's a percentage decimal thing. Whereas NPV is simple difference between that. Okay. For now, for PMP
Sir, I
perspective, for now, for PMP perspective, that is enough. As somebody asked, you don't need to go into further detail. And from PMP perspective, one more thing. If you want to measure a project, the more IRR is the best thing. Okay. The more IRR, the better it is. Yes, Siva.
so like which is preferable to measure the
Good, good.
project value?
IRR is the most accurate one, then NPV, okay, then ROI, and then remaining are normal parameters. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Anyone else? Siba, you can lower your hand if your question is answered. Okay, guys. So let's look at the entire product life cycle. Okay. So first, when you want to start the project, you do need assessment. Why do we even need the project? Then you made business documents, which are business case and benefit management plan. These are pre project activity before the project. Okay, then initiation happen, a project starts. The first document that is made that make the project formal is, I'll use the different color just to differentiate, that is this is project, is project charter. In initiation you make project charter, assumption log and stakeholder register. Then planning happens, in which you make all the plans. Then execution, in which you work, do. Monitoring and control happens, okay, in which you do the variance analysis, like what was your plan, is your plan working or not, and you want to change your plan. And finally closing happen, okay, when the project is closed. And then your project get converted into the operational phase. Project is transferred to operational. This entire thing from need assessment to the operational is called product life cycle. The product is started and then it goes to operational and then it get ended, things like that. This small phase is called as project life cycle. So project starts with project charter. The first document that starts the project is project charter, which is the first document that starts the project, formally authorize the project charter. Okay, project charter. Okay, project charter. To explain this thing in just a different way, this is your product life cycle. This is your project life cycle. Okay, subset of that. These things that are pre-project, before project starts, and operation are post-project, after the project starts, ends, after the project ends. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Only this thing what is on is showing on the screen. I'll The entire PMP revolves around these all from there in the project life cycle. So we'll go there. We'll go there. Okay. Okay. Now the question comes: who makes the project charter? The answer is sponsor. Is the sponsor one person or the team, or is it he's inside the organization or outside the organization? He's inside the organization. Always. He's your boss, he's one person, not a team. One person. He's someone with the authority to give money. Like he can be a program manager, somebody senior to you. He's one person always, okay, and he's inside the organization. These are two characteristics very important. Okay, one person within the organization. Sponsor. Now, next question comes: is the project manager, you are becoming project management professional, comes after the project charter, or he can also be the part of the entire journey, right? Is the project manager come when the project started, or he can be before? This is a good question, huh? What do you think? What is the answer to that? Put in the chat box. Comes after the project charter. Okay, but guys, what do you think? After. Okay, after. Okay, after. Both cases. He can be, thank you Mudassir, he can be before the project, and for sure he's after that. But he formally get the designation of a project manager once the project charter is started. How can you be a project manager without a project charter or a formal project? Na? What are you managing? Right? He can be the part of the team who made that business case, benefit management plan, and then project chart. He can be the part of it, or you hired him later. But once the project charter is made, he is the king. He is the king of the land now. The project charter gives him power over resources, budget, and responsibility to complete the project. Project charter is a formal document that gives him power that he need to use to complete the project. Am I clear into this thing? Guys, especially boys, if you can turn your videos on, that will be great. Yeah. Yeah. Matthew, it will come. Okay, slowly, slowly. Yeah. Okay. So let's look into that. Let's look into that. Three documents we have. Yeah. Business case, benefit management plan, those business document, and then project chart. These three document project manager cannot change. Cannot change. They are like the foundation. He cannot change these three documents. Anything else he can change in the project. Okay. Felicia, what question you have, Felicia? Hey, Felicia. You put question. What question do you have? Please put your question. Don't put question. Always put the use the term of PMP. Project manager is a term of the PMP. Project director is nothing. As in, put the question directly. Don't put that I have a question. Put the question, but whatever your question, put in the chat box. Okay. Project director is every organization use different term. Azim, what is the question? Tell me. Sponsor is a one person who is a senior person in the organization. He has the power to give resources. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, I'm audible to you?
Yes, you are. Please tell me.
Okay. If the PM is a part of this plan for BC, PMC, and CC, then also you don't have authorized to change anything because he's a part of it.
He cannot change. He cannot change. Because if you change anything, even if it's a part of, he does not have the authority to change anything. If in the project these three documents or any of these are changed, the project is over. Na? You need to make a new project. That's a new project there. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a new project. G. And then I hope sponsor is clear. Now, let's, we have discussed these three things. We will have an assignment. I'll do it later on, maybe after 1 hour, 30 minutes, to make a project charter. I'll give you one sample and you will have to make a project charter. I'll give it to you. That comes later. Okay. Now, we have just seen there that there are 5 process groups: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. What happens in initiation? Project gets started. 3 documents are made in initiation only: project charter, assumption log. Somebody is unmute, please mute yourself kindly. Assumption log. Assumption log is a document that has each and every assumption of the project. Like, for example, when you paid me for this program, one assumption that you guys made that I will actually teach you, right? That was an assumption, na? It may or may not be true. I could have been a scam, right? I actually had a one student. I talked to him, I guess he was in Canada or somewhere else, and he said to me, "How do I trust you?" Now that was a very interesting question. Then I sent him to my LinkedIn and my YouTube. I said, "Look at it. Maybe you consider I'm for real." How can you make anyone trust you, right? That's an interesting thing. But assumption log, a document that has all the assumptions in the project. What is assumption? Assumption is anything which you consider right or wrong without any uh, proof right now. Okay? Assumption log. For example, somebody said that he's going to give 4 to 6 hours daily to clear PMP. Now that's an assumption that I put it on my document. He may or may not do that. Possibility, Neetu. Good word to use. Okay? So the third document is stakeholder register. Stakeholder register is a document which is a list of all the stakeholders in the project. We will discuss that more in the upcoming sessions. Then in planning, we do plans for all the things, all the topics like scope plan, schedule plan, cost plan, quality plan, procurement plan, risk plan, okay, stakeholder communication. All the planning will be done. Plus the development approach, which I'll discuss in a while, agile, etc., will be made there. No work is done here, only planning. In execution, whatever the plan you have made, you will do them, work on them. The team will come, you will develop the team, etc., etc. Then in monitoring and control, the plan that you have made and the execution, you will compare them. I love to say that variance analysis. You will do the variance analysis. Your plan versus actual. Plan versus actual, you will do that. And finally, you close the project. Everybody clear in that? Five process group: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and close. Five process group. Clear? Yeah. Okay. Now, guys, project does not happen in a vacuum. Okay? It does not happen in a vacuum. There are factors that affects the project. Yes, Mohammed. Yes, Mohammed.
During this initiation, to inform this two logs, three logs, assumption log and other two logs.
Project charter, it's only one log. Assumption log, stakeholder register, and project charter. Three things are made. The project is started with a project charter, then you make assumption log and stakeholder register. Yes, what is the question? Or did I answer the question? Okay. So
Okay, no, these three logs you will be elaborate more in future.
yes, this project charter we have already discussed now, and we will do the assignment.
Okay.
Assumption log, I explained it. It has all the assumption. That's it. Nothing else is needed for that. Stakeholder register we will discuss in detail. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there are two factors. There are two important things that we need to consider when we are discussing the project. Two important things. One is known as organizational process assets. The organization for which you are working, their organizational process assets, OPAs. Okay, let's discuss them. What are organizational process assets? The policies of the organization. It will affect how the project is going to handle. The procedures, the SOPs that the organization have. The organizational database, right? The organizational lesson learned repository. What organization have learned in the past? Policies, procedure, tools, templates. This is called OPS, organization. Now, whatever the project you do, it will be impacting those projects. Now, these are some of them you can update. The lesson learned repository, the entire database of lesson learned that you have, what have you learned in the past, will be updated throughout the project. Okay, the procedures will be updated throughout the project. The policies will be updated as we move forward, can be changed. These are OPAs, organizational process assets. OPS are important thing for an organization. A project team or a project manager can update them along the way. Okay, templates, any template that you will get when you start the project, how formats, Abraham, formats that you use in the organization. Use this template. The CV should be in this template, or reports should be in the template. I hope that makes sense, Ibrahim. Yes, Falisa?
Yeah, I want to know what are the database that are
Database,
part of OPS.
whatever the organization servers data you put it, your organization decide what will be your in database. Every organization will have different, right? For example,
Okay, is it kind of previous project backups and all?
yes, it can be.
Are they part of?
It can be. Yes,
Okay.
it can be. Anything can be. No? For example, I work in this Amer Boulevard Tower. 20. It has like I guess 29 to 30 floor. Now the entry guy or these building people have the database of every single person who works there, and they have database for me that I work till late night. No one is after the office boy leave who's cleaning right now. I will be the only person probably in the building or some known people. That's it. That can be the database. OPS, organizational process assets. G, anyone else? Any question about OPS? Important thing. G, what else? Guys, anyone? Felisa, you can lower your hand, please, after you ask the question. Okay. The next thing is EEF, enterprise environmental factors. Now, guys, OPS was something the organization has it. Okay. EEF, enterprise environmental factors, are the factors. Matthew, you will get the entire list in the slides. No? As a general, it is policies, procedure, tools, and template and lesson. Okay. Okay. EEF, enterprise environmental factors. Enterprise environmental factors. These are the factors. It can be internal to the organization or external to the organizations that affect it. For example, the culture in which the organization is working, the customs, traditions, okay, those things, communication tools that are available there, okay, that are the part of this. I use the acronym of PASTEL to remember or understand all type of enterprise environmental factors. What are the political factors? Like it's your like you know that if you are working in a country that is politically unstable, or you know some country that are politically unstable, doing the project there will be entirely different thing. Okay, for example, I live in Dubai, so Dubai is kind of a known a place. If I leave my mobile in metro, I can get it back after 2 days. That's kind of a politically very stable thing, right? Very stable thing. Politically, it is very stable. There is no political problem. The legal things are there, very stable. Okay, then economical. How's the economy of air work? Is it stable, not stable? Social, what are the social value? Like again, Dubai has all the religions people working here, all the religions here. Technology, what technology does your organization or outside your organization have? Legal things, environmental. Now here comes Dubai. In Dubai we have two seasons, hot and very hot. There is no winter here, right? So police, all these factors impacted the culture, the customs, the tools and technology. Okay, the pastel. Guys, what does pastel stand for? Put in the chat box. What does the pastel stand for? Everybody, please. Political, economical, social, technical, legal, all these documents. Yeah, pastel analysis. Okay, all the pastel analysis. Yeah, guys, important technological thing like PMIS, the project management information system. It is EEF, of course, the technology that you are using. It's a very interesting EEF. For example, here in UAE, you can message me on WhatsApp. I can reply you back. I cannot call you. I cannot call you. There's a kind of a blockage on calling on WhatsApp or other Viber, etc. media. That's kind of a EEF. the enterprise environmental factor, but specifically PMIS. Okay, so what I want to say here that in the exam, if there are questions in which EF, which is enterprise environmental factor, and PMIS, project management information system, which is a subset of EF, is mentioned, you will choose PMIS. I'll explain one more time. WhatsApp does not work here, or in China, it does not work at all. It does not work at all. Okay, so that's the enterprise environmental factor, that thing does not happen. But under the enterprise environmental factor, we call this thing as project management information system, like the tools your organization can use, the tools your organization is using, is PMIS. Okay, clear to everybody? So we discussed these different tools. Okay, now we will discuss what are the how what different type of organizations. But before that, let's have a 5 minute break. Okay, bring your cup of coffee. You could understand that now things are getting pretty serious, so get your cup of coffee, tea, and we'll get back after 5 minutes. Okay,
Recording stopped.
and of course everything recording will be shared.
Can I book the exam date on 19th July?
Guys, please message in the group that the class has started. In here, both internal and Ibrahim, mostly yes, both can be same.
Recording in progress.
Internal and external factors, custom cultures, tools, and technique both can be, but in the organization it can be different. For example, the culture of your organization can be different from the culture of the country, right? I have lived in such organizations in which I have not lived. I have worked in such organization which internal culture was entirely different from the outside of that. But you need to take both into the thing. And culture is such an important thing. Culture, political factors that we always need to learn from there. Okay, you guys. Now let's talk about the type of the organization you work into this. The organizations are basically categorized, right? The organizations are basically categorized into two major types. Okay, one is projectized. Projectized, they only do projects. Projects come, organization start, and that's it. Projectized organization, it can be called as project oriented. I have a student my one-to-one student who basically work in an event management company. Okay, so it's a classical example of project. When the event come, you hire different people, you do the event, and that's it. Projectized organization. Then we have operational organization, which in the terms of PMI is called as functional organization, like steel mill, like and the textile organization, milk organization, packets organization, all these type of organizations, they can be put it into this functional organization. Okay, the person who is leading the projectized organization or the projects is called project manager. He has all the power in the projectized organization. In functional organization, functional manager, which normally in your organization are known as operational manager, he has all the power. So project oriented, your projectized organization, project manager has all the power. Functional organization, functional manager has all the power. Okay, clear to everybody? What do I mean by power? Who is going to use the resources? Who is going to use the budget? How the budget will be used? Every single thing, decisions is in his hand. Okay, so that's an important thing. Project oriented and functional organization. Clear? Now comes the interesting thing. No single organization is project oriented or a functional organization. It's always a combination of both. So we called it as a matrix organization. We called it as a matrix organization. Okay, matrix organization, which can be any combination of, like, more projects are more important. If projects are more important, it is called strong matrix. If functions are more important, it is called weak matrix. If both are equally important, we called it as a balanced matrix. Strong matrix, balanced matrix, and weak matrix for you. Strong matrix, balanced matrix, and weak matrix for you. Now, why do we call it as a weak matrix? Because in weak matrix, project manager has very low power. He does not have any power. He has no power. Functional manager has more power. Functional manager has more power. In strong matrix, project manager has more power and functional manager has less power. In balance, both have same power. Both have same power. So if a conflict comes in a balance matrix, we will first try to resolve it ourselves, try to negotiate. Always understand whenever the PMP says there's a conflict, always try to negotiate. If you cannot, then go to sponsor. Then go to sponsor. Okay? Then you go to sponsor. This is different type of organization. So just to summarize one more time, project oriented, yeah, projectized organization, functional organization, then matrix organization. Matrix can be weak matrix, balanced matrix, and strong matrix. Who has more power in balanced matrix, project manager or functional manager? Put in the chat box. None or both. If a conflict occur, then what we will do? If a conflict occur in a balanced organization, what we will do? We will negotiate and then we will go to sponsor. Who has more power in projectized organization? PM. Who has more power in strong matrix? Who has more power in functional organization? Nitu, why you are putting OM again and again? Nitu? Not Nitu. Hassan, why you are putting OM? What do I mean by OM? Please, please. Okay. Ahmed Faraz, why you are putting OM? What is OM? Is it O near P? No, it's far. There is no operational manager. Hassan, did I say any operational manager? The word is functional manager. That's why I immediately stopped there. Functional manager. Use the language of PMI. Important. Told you, PMI head need to be used. Okay? Yeah. Acha. Who has more power in the weak matrix? Functional manager. Okay, Ji. Azim, you have a question?
Yes, sir, I have a question. As you said, if PM and SM both have conflict, report to sponsor. So is it necessary sponsor should be the same organization or outsider? Because
We
if it's
discussed
outsider,
it.
he
We
doesn't care
discussed
about.
it before. Sponsor is always within the organization.
Okay, okay, okay.
That is without any question. Sponsor is within the organization is a senior to you. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Vinay. Yes, Vinay.
Yeah, in a weaker matrix, who has more power? Functional manager or the project
Functional.
sponsor?
No. Sponsor always have more power. But we are comparing it with the project manager and functional manager. Okay?
I don't need to think too much.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm seeing.
No. Please keep thinking. Please keep asking. That is the reason. Guys, here we are to learn. Like, let me tell you this thing. Last week, we were having a coaching call, and one of my student, he pointed out that I solved the question wrong. So please ask me. I can be wrong. So it is possible. And I make a lot of mistakes. Asha ji, now, if the question does not mention, the question says that you are working in an organization, dot, 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 dot. What will you consider in which type of organization you are working? In which organization you are working? Yes, matrix is okay, Riaz. Which matrix? Balanced matrix. Few things are automatic assumption. If the question says weak matrix, okay. If the question says functional organization, okay, strong project. But if the question does not mention, you're automatically into the balanced organization. Clear? The question is that, Ziran, if the question does not mention which type of organization you are working in, automatically you are in the balanced organization. Okay? You're automatically, somebody's unmuted, please mute yourself. Acha, this is all about these organizations. Okay, now sometime we have a head office. Okay, how many of you have head office? Put in the chat box. Me. Okay, yeah. So here we called head office as a PMO, project management office, PMO. Okay, and we have three types of PMO. Okay, sportive, controlling, and directive. Sportive, controlling, and directive. What is sportive PMO? The sportive PMO will provide you tools and techniques, training, guidelines, etc. etc. But you have full power to work with them. You have the power, okay, to do whatever. Sportive tools, technique, things like that. The controlling PMO, it will provide all those things, tools, technique, etc. But it will also do your audit. It will also do your audit, right? Will also do your audit. Okay. And the third directive one, here you have no power whatsoever. They are giving you daily tasks and you are kind of instructing their report. Like, for example, directive will tell you, okay, today this thing, today this thing, today this thing, or daily or a weekly, and you are just implementing it. Now, which one is right or wrong? It depends, like a boss. It depends. Some projects need to be like directive, right? Some projects need to be sportive. Some projects need to be controlled. Your organization, your project, are you working in a sportive PMO, controlling PMO, or directive? Put in a chat box. Sportive, controlling, directive, controlling, sportive. Okay. Yes, you have a question, Palisa? You raised your hand. You raised your hand. Yes.
I want to ask is a sponsor, is he a part of PMO or more?
He can be the part of PMO, because PMO is the your organizational governance board. Now we'll talk about the governance board in a while. He can be the part of PMO. PMO is the part of organization. He can be the part of that. May or may not. Depends on the organization. Okay.
It's either PMO or above PMO, right?
No. There is no one above PMO sponsor. There is no one above sponsor. For our concern, for our projects, there is no one above a sponsor. He is kind of a. I remember one of my mentor. He said that demigod or god, something like that, for your project. Okay, he's something like that. Okay.
Okay, what is what is usually sponsor called in an organization? Because I've never heard an organization with a head called sponsor. Is it the MD?
He can be program manager. He can be program manager. Okay, he can be a portfolio manager, or he can be your CEO. It depends from organization to organization. It depends for what level of authority you are working. For example, let's say you are working in a Apple and you are making an iPhone 15. Okay, so the sponsor for in that case will be your CEO. Okay, it depends how much authority is needed, but sponsor has to be someone who has power to influence all the stakeholders. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Kiran.
Actually, if I refer my company, once again, my question remains with sponsor. The sales team will have a direct kickoff with project managers. I didn't heard any kind of sponsors.
Sales work is sales work project or operation? First, tell me that.
Operations.
Yeah. Sales is doing daily. as operational work. Okay. For example,
but they'll consider as sponsors, salespeople.
No. You see, sponsor is anyone who is your higher authority, who has a power to influence you, who can help you to get the budget, who can help you to get the resources, and he is within the organization. That's it. Even if you
Okay.
even if you can call your sales manager can be a sponsor in your project if you're a project. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Acha, one thing I miss in that terms when I was discussing different type of organizations. Okay, there's a term called project expeditor, project coordinator. We all know that project manager is a person. We are project manager. In a functional organization, sometimes you get a person who is doing the project also a little bit thing. So he can be called as a project expeditor, but he has no power at all. Okay. In weak matrix, normally project manager has very less power. We say it's a coordinator. Okay. So project expeditor almost no power. Project coordinator some power. Okay. So some power he will be in a function in a weak matrix, and project manager is a project manager. Clear to everyone? Okay. I'll repeat. Project expeditor is someone which has no power. Project expeditor has no power. Project coordinator has some power. Okay. Some communication he can do it. Okay. And project manager has all the powers. Clear? Matthew and Mudassir? Yeah. Now we'll discuss one more thing, then we'll go to the slides. And that's one of the most important thing. There are 4 development approaches. Some people called it life cycle. Some people call it development approaches. The right word is development. How you are going to conduct your project. How you are going to conduct your project. 4 development approaches. Okay. Now let's consider it. I need to talk to you guys. Okay, let's talk. Okay, yeah. Mudassir, unmute yourself and can you tell me about your project? Only tell me 2 things. Is the delivery one parts or in multiple parts? And secondly, is the scope fixed or is it variable?
So the scope is fixed, and the project has small deliveries, but overall a big bang is going to happen.
Okay, so guys, understand his project. His requirements or scope is fixed. Everybody listen to that, no? And his delivery is in parts. It's like a movie show or series, film series that it comes in parts, like Money Heist, Game of Thrones. Scope is fixed. If you have watched, no Ahmed Fras, if you have watched Game of Thrones, the Daenerys have to go to that throne. So it's in parts, but the scope is fixed. It is called incremental life cycle. Anyone who works in construction can unmute himself or herself. Anyone who works in construction, civil
Yes,
engineer.
sir, I'm working in construction.
Okay, so what is your project? Can you explain me?
So my project is basically a residential building in Algarve in Qatar area, Dubai. So the scope is fixed because the residential building, nothing else. And delivery and this is also, you can say,
One go,
somehow
single.
type of-
Once it is done. Yeah, this is called
Yes.
this is called predictive life cycle. Scope is fixed. Scope is fixed. Okay, and scope is fixed and delivery is one go. It's like a bridge. I love the example of bridge. From all the examples, I love the bridge. You go to the bridge, and that's it. The bridge is ended. No. I want my entire bridge to go. Another example, let's say you are getting a house and your constructor person says that the washrooms are not ready and you can use the washroom of a nearby house. No. I need my complete house, right? So it's a predictive, plan driven, waterfall, traditional, 4 name. What are the 4 names? Traditional projects. Because traditional, we have been doing this thing. No? Waterfall, same thing always. Predictive, that you know what is expected. Plan driven. When do we use that? Scope is fixed and delivery is one go. Anyone who work as a designer here in a design firm or as a designer? Anyone? Unmute yourself, Umesh. Go ahead. Umesh, unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do
yeah.
you make a design and get it approved? Can you explain me the process?
Yeah, actually, we make a couple of concepts,
Uh-huh.
and with that, we will review with the stakeholders,
Okay.
and we'll choose the concept, and
Okay.
we develop that concept, and we make up some protos of that concept,
Mm-hmm.
and with that, we validate
Mhm.
that proto,
Mm-hmm.
and if the requirement is fulfilled, so we move forward to implement that.
Okay. So if I explain it in this way, is it right? Please tell me. You make a design, you show it to the customer. Customer says, no, do this, do that, improve this way. You come back and improve it, come back and improve it. Keep on doing it. But once it is accepted as a complete design, right?
That's
This
true.
is called,
As I mentioned,
yeah.
in the concept validation, concept selection, we will
Yeah.
do that.
This is called iterative life cycle. What is happening here? Requirements can change at any time, but delivery is one go. Delivery is one go. Traditional and predictive and waterfall and what was the fourth name? Plan driven are same Mustafa. G. This is iterative, but design is example of iterative. One delivery, but requirements can change. Any software engineer who actually do coding or softwares? Anyone who makes softwares? No, that's interesting. It's kind of very interesting. Okay. How softwares are developed? I went for a coffee just before the session at 6 p.m. I came back and I received a notification on my iPad. iOS 16 point something has been updated. What was that? I did not ask it. They are keep on updating, and they are changing the things as the requirements are changing and deliveries in parts. That's how your mobiles are updated now. That's how you are getting a similar thing happened to, like, interestingly, at Excel. I have Microsoft Excel. I use even on my Mac. Okay, things are keep on changing, and delivery is in part. This is called agile life cycle. What is called it as? Agile life cycle. Clear to everyone? Agile life cycle. Four things. Now let me draw it. I'm kind of a visual person. I like to draw things. So we discussed two things. Scope, okay? Scope here, and requirements or delivery. Scope is basically requirements and delivery. Okay? Scope, requirement, and that delivery. Okay, let me make 2 by 2. If delivery is one go or delivery is in multiple way, scope is fixed or scope is variable. If your scope is fixed, I use different colors for you guys. Black. If your scope is fixed and delivery is single, okay, what is the type of life cycle we use? Predictive. Predictive, plan driven, this life cycle will be traditional. Example, bridge. Now, if your scope is changing, but delivery is one go, design. Design is an example of that. The life cycle is iterative. If your scope is fixed, but delivery is in part, it is incremental. Example is E-series, movie like TV series or what we were discussing, other examples like that. And if both things are changing, okay, if both things are changing, we will go with agile. Example is software. Okay, softwares are developed in this way. Software are yeah, software are developed in this way. Okay, All these three, if you look at these three, one of the thing is changing. Either scope is changing or delivery is in parts, right? We call them as change driven or adaptive. Change driven or adaptive. And of course, this is called predictive. Guys, this is an important slide. If anyone has any question on it, please ask. That's why first I asked you question, explained it, and then I went to the
Sir, please explain incremental. That's it.
Incremental is in parts. Your scope is fixed. For example, let's say you are a builder. Okay, now I'll take example of I'm building 20 houses. Okay, or I'm building a complete mall. What I do, I make one house. Okay, the scope is kind of fixed. I want making a model house. I deliver it to the customer, get the money. Increment. How I am teaching PMP. Right now we are discussing fundamental of business environment. After that, tomorrow we'll study stakeholder communication. Increments. Clear? Increments. Okay. Now, as I said in the matrix, that no single project is projectized or functional. No single project is 100% predictive or agile. It's always a combination, and that is called as hybrid life cycle. Hybrid life cycle. For example, let's say you say, no, my construction project is 100% uh, predictive. Okay, how the design was made? Mujtaba, how the design was made? Iterative. Iterative is you show to the customer, you change something, you show to the customer, you keep on doing that. That's how design was made. Okay, let's say you say my project is 100% agile software project. How do you do the procurement in a predictive way? So hybrid is a combination of both predictive and agile. So far, any confusion by anyone? Okay. So we have discussed a lot of things in last 1.5 hours. We started with what is project and operation. We discussed business case and different way of measurement. Then we discussed benefit management plan. Then we discussed different types of organizations, functional, etc., etc. Then we discussed uh, different life cycles. We discussed PMO. We discussed OPAs and EEF. Okay. Few things are still there: governance and 4 values and 12 principles of agile, which we will discuss. But now I want that you guys do two activity. Let's say one activity, right? Make a mind map of everything that we have studied so far. Okay. For simplicity, for now, for the first and only time, I'm sending all of you into one group. After that, we will have multiple mind maps along the way. We'll make like 20-25 exercises like that. I will send you at least into 6 to 7 groups. So I shared how to make a mind map. You need to make that thing. Okay. So right now I'm sending you to breakout room. You have 7 minutes to make a mind map of whatever we have studied so far. Sakib, right now I'm also sending someone who can lead it. Sakib, if you can lead the team. Okay. Sakib, are you with me? Sakib Javed. Okay. Lead the team. Okay. Let them make it. But okay. So guys, 7 minutes starts now. Please join the breakout. Everyone, you see a link in front of you.
Recording stopped.
Click the link and join the breakout room. Saurabh, Ankar, Vinaya, everybody please join the breakout room. Okay, guys, I hope you have fun, you enjoyed the session, and this was the preview of day one. Now, if you want to continue with us, if you want to join, you can join. This is the link. You can join my complete program, and I'll make sure that you become certified PMP in 4 to 6 weeks. With that, Thank you very much. It has been an honor. You can join this batch or you can uh, join the next batch. Thank you very much. What is hybrid in this chart? Combination of both are hybrid. Thank you very much and bye bye.
Adnan. And here we have my 1000 PM in less than 3 years, Muhammad Adil.